The
Word Podcast! Oh, yes. It's
nice.
podcast o'clock.
Nice. You're hyped.
It is. I am hyped, actually.
Hyped.
I am hyped. It's been a bit of a ropey setup. I've been shocked.
Yeah, he's been shocked.
Electronically.
Yeah.
But I'm safe. I'm sound.
I mean, you didn't change the mic, though, so...
Well, I mean, what can you do when it's 2 minutes before the show?
You've got that thing on top.
Yeah,
of
I nicked it off you. I was like,
yeah.
At least I'm not going to touch metal because I like to get close to the mic, do you know what I mean? And sound source, all this jazz, what. All the boring stuff that no one's interested in. But, you know, here we are. We're here and we're happy. Generally, overall. I mean, you've not.
Yeah. Don't want to talk about it. It's been a...
Well, we're gonna have to because that's what we do.
Yeah, it's rough.
So first of all, if you're watching, thanks for joining us.
Okay. See Marilyn saying, good evening, hope you're okay. I mean, both of us need a bit of that.
Yeah, I know, literally, do you know what I mean? But yeah, thanks so much for joining us if you're watching live.
Yep.
And if you're not watching live, thanks for joining us in whatever time, space, world that we are in, where you are right now. Maybe you're at the gym. Maybe you're at work.
Could be 100 years from now.
Oh, it could be actually. No, you're right.
It's on the internet forever.
Yeah.
So even in 1,000 years,
that's a fair point.
If the Lord hasn't returned yet, then someone could be watching this.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're looking into the past.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's deep.
And you know what? In 100 years, it's probably like full body VR.
What?
Because you know, obviously, you know what VR is, isn't it?
Yeah, I know what VR is.
Yeah.
Virtual reality.
So what it could end up being is like full body VR.
What, like
which
your whole? What do you mean, like Ready Player One, where you can feel stuff in your body?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sick.
Because they're trying to use it in schools at the moment, where like a whole classroom is basically like a 360 screen. So you like walk in and it's like it literally feels like you're in a different place because it's like all like a screen. So someone might be experiencing this right now.
That is sick.
You know what I mean? And they feel like we're sat right in front of them.
We're all around them.
We're not, but you might feel like that.
That's mad. So it's like, do you know how they film The Mandalorian? They do it on screens.
Yeah.
It's like that.
I think it's that kind of technology.
That's sick.
I mean, because that on its own is like a massive advance on like normal blue screen.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Can you imagine if they had that for Lord of the Rings? I mean, Lord of the Rings still holds up. It still holds up.
It does still hold up, surprisingly. And speaking of Lord of the Rings, I was literally just thinking about this like a couple of hours ago. The new Lord of the Rings is coming out. In the comments, tell me if you're hyped for the new Lord of the Rings series on Amazon.
That is an interesting choice of words that you've chosen.
What, hyped? Are you apprehensive?
Because I don't think I'm hyped for it. I'm really nervous because Amazon, with properties where they take from certain things, are really bad, but then with other stuff they're really good. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, I don't know which Amazon I'm gonna get from here. Yeah. And it's the most expensive TV show ever created. Yeah. So that's like, do you know what I mean? That's not we're just trying really hard, working hard on this. It's like they've got money to splurge, which means that they might splurge on like the wrong stuff. Do you know what I mean?
I get that, and I think that's the thing that worries me the most. I can see that Mum is not hyped. She just put a big no, thumbs down, which I respect. You may not be hyped, but for me, I'm on the fence. I'm excited to see what £1 billion can get you.
I know. It should get you a lot, really, innit?
Yeah, it should. But they always say, though, when it comes to movies and stuff, like it's always better to have a lower budget because then like it makes you be a bit more creative in how you do things.
Yeah, you can't just be like, oh, we'll just get the thing that does the thing. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, because with £1 billion, you can literally just do whatever you want, and there's like no limit really. And you can just go, right, let's make it bigger, let's make it better, let's make it this. And before you know it, you've gone too far.
It's trash, and you've got Dark Universe on your hands, which is, no one wants that. Yeah. And also, speaking of Lord of the Rings, I've always been interested in reading the books. And there's always one chapter that would, like, I'd lose interest in when I'm reading it, which was, for those who are book fans, it's the Tom Bombadil section, which is like this guy they meet in the forest during, like, when they're exiting the Shire. It's not in the film, so even the extended edition's not in there. But, like, because it's such a, like, it's just he's a weird character. Right, so I would hit that point and be like, I just can't read past this point. And I managed to find a free audiobook online where it's basically this guy who's like he's up and coming, and he started a small company where he's trying to like revamp audiobooks, make them more engaging. Yeah. And he's done all of the book, well, not all the trilogy books, I should say, because there's obviously a bunch more. Yeah. With like music from the film, sound effects, like when people are talking, like you got sound in the background, and oh my god, it's literally like you're watching the film's extended edition. So I'm very excited. Finished the Fellowship of the Ring this week. Nice. Starting with the Two Towers, and it's wild to see the differences because it's definitely different. How
long are like the whole book?
It's about 10-ish hours per book. That's like... So if you're doing stuff during the week, like you get through that pretty easily.
And if you're going to work, or like you're commuting somewhere or something like that, you know, over the course of a week, going there and back, say if you have half an hour, 45
there
minutes
and back again.
Do you know what I mean? Like, not bad.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Eamon, let's start off where we always start off with. How has your week been? Your week out of 10. Your week out of 10. Week. Not your day.
I don't know. The week's been pretty uneventful, I'd say. And I think today has dropped it down to a 9.
What's it? It's dropped it down to a 9.
To a 9.
For you, that's like me giving it a 4.
It was a good...
Or maybe a 2, I don't know.
I don't know if I can base my whole week on one afternoon. I feel a bit...
I mean, I don't know.
I'll let the people know. Basically, right, my brother moved house and...
You're just going to out him?
I'm not going to say anything bad about it. Brother moved house and he bought a new bed. So he was like, "Hey man, do you want my old bed?" I'm like, I'm not a big bed guy. Do you know what I mean? I'll have one bed and I'll have it for like ages until it dies, and I'll get a new bed. I'm not a big bed fella. Fair. So I was like, "Yeah, go on then. I'll have this bed." And like, it's one of those ones where you lift up the mattress and everything like this. There's loads of storage underneath. Thought it was quite cool. So I basically spent all afternoon, and there's no instructions with the bed, obviously, because they've been just discarded or whatever. And it's relatively new. It's like 2 years old. And yeah, so I started putting it up, and Anna and I started putting it up, and we had no instructions, and it got a bit stressful when you don't have the instructions, you're winging it. Yeah. And then when we got towards the end, we realized that some of the pieces which are integral to the structure of the bed, to the structure of holding the mattress and everything like that, they're just broken. And it's not like broken as if like you can just take them back together. It's like pieces that are welded together, have come off. Like, and I don't know about you, Arda, but I'm not a welder. I'm not a welder. I don't weld in my spare time.
I mean, do you know, I can't even say that I've pretended to be a welder.
You know what I mean? I can dabble in a bit of hammering in that, but welding, way out there.
Do you know what? If you want some drilling done, I've got a great drill. I can go through brick and everything.
There you go. But
welding.
Can you weld?
Welding's beyond me.
Yeah. And so welding's beyond me. And I just stood there and I was like, I've literally just wasted. And like, I had to do so much to get I had to like move my wardrobe. My wardrobe was massive and heavy. And it was just like everything about it. I was just like, why is this happening to me? And I was getting really frustrated because I was just like, why can't it just be easy? So now I've dismantled the bed. And I've half put the old one back together. And so when I get
that
home,
means you've got unfinished business then,
when I get home, usually after the podcast, I like to just relax, just chill out.
Yeah.
Put on, like Antiques Roadshow or something,
Oh, you're an Antiques Roadshow fan, are you?
Like on a Sunday night. Like
yeah.
If it's on, I'll stick it on.
Wow, that's news to me.
But it's just like light TV, something just light.
Okay, just like the, something where your brain can switch off a bit.
Well, Marilyn says, "Oh, bless, I've got a blow-up bed if you want to borrow it."
Marilyn, I don't think that's what he's hoping for.
That is savage.
But you know what? Provision,
I can't complain.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, so now I've got to go home, put up the old bed, and then I had to take all my stuff out of my wardrobe to move the wardrobe because it's that big and heavy. Then I'm going to put all that stuff back in the wardrobe.
Yeah, nothing's... One of the probably an annoying thing about that is like you expecting change.
Yeah.
and then nothing changes, and it's like, now what do I do?
Yeah.
That'll preach that. That'll preach.
That will preach. It's a good sermon. It's a demonstration. You think, we'll write it down. But
yeah.
But
have you got like a book of like little demonstrations? Like, ooh, that's a good one.
But the thing is, as well, is I know that I'm going to be knackered tomorrow, and I get up at 5 o'clock to go to work.
Oh,
so I know I'm just going to get up and just
at
be like,
5 o'clock.
So I might need to buy some Red Bull or something when I get home, just so I can bosh that in the morning. Anna has done it all for you.
Oh, that's what fiancés are for.
She said
they pick you up when you're down. They help you out when you feel like, I just can't. Hey, do you know what? Please, if you know how to use your emojis, put a clap emoji for Anna, because I don't want to say Eamon's been stressed.
Oh, I've been frustrated.
But he's been aggravated. I think that's a good way to put it.
I've been fully wound up.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've just been mugged off by a bed, and that's what's annoyed me. It's not a person. It's inanimate objects that don't even speak or doesn't even move. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Anna, I appreciate it, because I was gonna come home and be very, very frustrated. But now I don't have to be.
No, that's true. So maybe you can have your, what's the word? I mean, chill with Antique Roadshow.
Yeah, well, Mum put, Anna's done it all for you. Super wide to be. I'm guessing that's super
wife, I'm assuming.
Super wife to be, but yeah. Wow, fair play. Nice. I did all right. You know, Anna's good one. Good egg.
Yeah.
Good egg, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
She could have left it. I did tell her to leave it as well. I was like, don't
there we
touch
go.
It.
See?
Don't touch it.
That's love for you, do you know what I mean? That's love in action.
What's love?
That'll preach as well.
Anyway, talk enough about me and my bed, because I'm going to get more frustrated if I talk about it. How about you, mate? What's been going on?
This week has been a bit of a mad week, to be honest. In general, like if I tot everything up,
yeah.
So I would say it's been like maybe like an 8.
8's big for you, though. 8
yeah, like as in my life.
Yeah.
But my body's been like a 4.
Right, yeah.
Because, so this time last week, I found out that I was going to be your best man.
Whee!
So obviously I was hyped about that. Started planning, doing all my machinations. I've already decided what I'm going to put you in.
Great.
Yeah. All I can say is, some people are going to be happy.
What?
You're not going to be one of them.
See,
as far as what you're going to wear.
If it's Liverpool or City shirt, that's not gonna be nice.
I don't want to say what it is or what it isn't, but you know, you might not be happy, but other people might be happy.
Okay. Oh, no.
So obviously, I was like, that was great.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the week was like relatively okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like me and Mercy were hanging out. We made some cookies.
Good cookies. Do you know what? I'm going to say this.
Go on, say it.
On the record.
Say it.
My favorite cookies.
Oh!
No.
Oh, you got me excited there.
My favorite cookies are Sainsbury's own triple chocolate Belgian cookies.
Yeah.
They are the best. They are nice. They are big, soft, whatever else.
Yeah.
Big chalky chips in
Best
there.
of all worlds, do you know what I mean? Best
beautiful.
of all worlds.
These cookies, right?
They're gone now, by the way, so please don't ask.
But
we don't have another batch.
If you told me that they were Sainsbury's own Belgium triple chocolate cookies,
you'd buy it.
I'd buy it. Oh! I would have 100% gone.
Hey, that's what. Honestly, me and Mercy are a bit scared, because now that we know we have the ability to make, and these are literally like the exact type of cookies that, you know, when you're kind of chilling and you're just like, oh, I could really do with a cookie. Yeah. Like, these are the type of cookies that we would go and buy, and now we can make them. So now it's like, now we have to not make them.
Yeah. Get your orders in, guys.
Yeah. So like all this stuff's going great. And then what even happened at the beginning of the week? I can't remember. I had something wrong with me. Oh, I woke up Monday morning unable to move my neck.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, I was a bit like, oh, what the heck?
Going on here?
I can't move my neck. And so basically, Monday, I spent almost literally all day in bed, because I knew that it wasn't, well, I was hoping that it wasn't something spinal or serious or something like that, because I've had some issues with it the last few months, maybe. And I was just like, oh, it's probably my pillow.
Yeah.
Probably just need to get a nicer pillow because it's a bit too high for me, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, it was really only till Wednesday when I started to get proper mobility back.
Yeah.
And I'd still have really bad pain. So obviously I was like, I was not happy because I couldn't do anything that I had planned because I can't move my neck, do you know what I mean? And then while that was getting better, suddenly I had an issue with my leg where like standing is painful. And I've basically been taking painkillers to get me through. Because I was like, I've got stuff to do. I can't just be, do you know what I mean? And then the painkillers that I'm taking were giving me side effects of being like sick, like feeling sick in my stomach.
Oh my God.
So I was like, I'm being put through the ringer this week.
Oh.
So it's one of those weeks, do you know what I mean? Where like good stuff's happening.
Yeah.
While like at the same time, like really annoying stuff is happening. But overall, it's been a good week.
Do you know what you should do when Ezekiel's back and everything, and you know, you hand some back of that responsibility and whatever else. Just take some time, take a couple of days.
Oh, mate, it's done.
Good.
Because honestly, the way God works is hilarious. Because Dad's back, and the week after is Mercy's birthday / our anniversary.
Oh,
so we're gonna go away for a few days, like do something nice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be good.
Nice.
So it's incoming. Do you know what I mean? Like,
nice. Good.
But anyway, it is. Let us know how you guys are doing. How's your week been? Hopefully, it's been better than both of ours. Because this isn't
mine's all right now.
This isn't the most incredible like recap week that we've had.
My week can go to a 10 now.
Now
that my bedroom's done, I'll go back to a 10.
Come on, Anna.
There you go.
Anna's brought it back up to a 10.
Come on, the boys.
That's wives' fear. Do you know what I mean? You'll be at a 9. They'll say, "Let me help you," and now you're at a 10. So let us know how you guys are doing. You know what I mean? We're interested in you as much as we are in anything else, really. But if you're also watching after the fact, leave us a review and let us know. Obviously, you can't comment live, but you can leave a review and put your comments there, and we'll engage with it after the fact. So on whatever the next episode is or whatever.
Yeah.
But let's dive in because it's almost 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
And we could just keep on chatting about stuff for ages. So today, as the title suggests, we're looking at Jesus the Friend. I don't know if this counts as like a mini series or something. We've been doing stuff. Jesus is something. Jesus.
Yeah,
something.
I think it's a mini series.
I don't know. Anyway, I was like, I kind of would like to look at Jesus the Friend. We don't.
Good one.
I mean, it's in the lexicon of church life, isn't it?
Yeah.
We say, oh, Jesus is my friend, da, 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 da. But I thought it'd be good to have a chat about what that actually looks like, what that means. So let's just jump straight in. John 2. I realized as well, researching this, which I knew before, but obviously I've refreshed my brain now. John might be one of my like top 3 books in the Bible.
John's up there for
because for me, John's like, you've got so much great stuff about Jesus.
Yeah.
And then it's one of the most detailed books about how the Godhead works, about how Jesus is God.
Yeah.
So like that's my go-to. Definitely out of the I thought that was someone outside, but it's just the wind. Literally my neck broke. Anyway, John 2 verse 2. Pretty simple one. And Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to a wedding.
Nice.
And that's like the type of verse that you read and you're just like, all right, cool, Jesus at a wedding is water into wine. My gosh, amazing. But what I love about this is like Jesus was invited to a wedding.
Yeah.
Which means that he was someone that was liked.
Yeah.
He was friends with people.
Yeah.
When people were like, obviously you're going through this scenario of planning a wedding. Who do I invite? Who do I not invite? Do I really want that person around? Like some people you'll be like, they're a bit of a risk, but like we're such good friends that I have to have them there.
Yeah.
There'll be some people you're like, you're not worth the risk of having you around the other people who are going to be there. And Jesus was the type of person who like, oh yeah, you've got to have Jesus there.
Yeah.
And actually get his friends as well. Do you know?
Yeah.
So like Jesus just as a likable person is that he's that type of person, which as we'll delve further into. But I just like that as much as he is what we heard this morning of, he is the image of the invisible God. He has all the authority, all this, all that. Like, he's also a really likable person.
Yeah.
And he's someone where people wanted to have him around. And if someone had the opportunity to have Jesus around or not have Jesus around, they would rather him be there than not. And that's good to know, because that helps us with how we approach Jesus and how we live with him. Is like, if we just take ourselves out of it, him on his own, he's the type of person you would want to be friends with.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, do you know what? He is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, obviously he did all this incredible stuff, but people just liked to be around him.
Yeah.
Because he was a really good person to be around. And I would assume he was friends with whoever invited him.
Yeah.
Don't know. We don't know whose wedding it is, really, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Or what connection they had with Jesus, really. It was obviously some kind of family friend, because or someone who knows the family, because his mum was there.
Yeah.
But he was liked well enough that him and his friends. So Jesus got like not a +1. Like, you're lucky if you get a +1 in it.
Yeah.
But like Jesus got like +12 or however many disciples he had at that point. So that's just a nice little soft open, John.
That's nice.
Hey, Jesus is a nice guy. And then you have this, Luke 19, 5-6. This is really just like a highlight point of Jesus.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So when Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. All the people saw this and began to mutter, has he gone to be the guest of a sinner? Oh my gosh, Jesus. Oh my. So like, I just saw a comment that I was expecting there. That's good.
From who?
From Dad.
Oh yeah.
I assumed that they wouldn't be watching, but hey, hello to the Zambians in Zambia. How's it going?
Yeah, fill us in. How's the weather? Like, it's winter, isn't it?
It's winter over there now. It's the perfect time to go because it's hot, but you won't like
but how hot?
Roast. So like 20s.
Nah, too hot for me.
Mid to early to like low 20s.
I bet.
But in October is like you wake up, it's 30 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So here you've got Jesus. He's in the town. He's doing all this stuff. He's doing his usual, talking to a crowd. Hey, let me give you some gems. Talk about the kingdom, etc., etc. Probably roasting the Pharisees, as was one of his favorite things to do. And there's someone in a tree that everyone hates. No one likes this person because, in fairness, this person's a bit of a scumbag. Do you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
And he knows he's a scumbag. It's like everyone's mutually agreeable on the fact that he's an awful human being. It's
true.
true.
Take a vote. Is this guy a scumbag? In favor? Say aye.
And he would put his hand up as well, and then he would come and scam you out of more money. So he was a tax collector who took too much tax. Obviously, that's a bit of a sore spot at the moment because. Cost of living and all that jazz.
Let's not get into
But you've got this person no one likes, everyone hates, for a justifiable reason, I'd say. Jesus in the middle of something. And then he says, so there's been a bit of a conversation. And Jesus says, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today.
Yeah.
So Jesus the friend says, I'm going to interact with this person that no one else here wants to interact with. Like, so much so that he had to climb a tree on his own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you just think about the fact that, first of all, you're short, so you're always like, I can never quite see.
Yeah.
And you don't have a group of friends like that guy who was paralyzed who they'll take you to the roof. Do you know what I mean? You're on your own. You've got to climb a tree on your own. And you manage to see this Jesus guy, but you're doing it all on your own. Do you know what I mean? You're completely isolated, and he notices you. Out of everyone in the crowd, he stops talking to them. He's only focused on you. He gives you his attention, and then he actually interacts with you. Do you know what I mean? He starts a conversation.
Yeah.
So now the whole crowd's watching Jesus, like. there's someone here that needs healing. There's a woman here that, she's been going through some stuff. There's probably someone there, like a broken arm, being like, Jesus, leave him. Like, I've got a broken arm and I'm a nice person. Do you know what I mean? He's a horrible tax collector and he's fine. I hope he drops from that tree. I'm sure they were all thinking like a bunch of stuff, like the one person that I don't want taking attention from Jesus has now got his attention. But Jesus was purely thinking that I am going to befriend Zacchaeus. Yeah. So he's not only talking to this person that no one likes, he then invites himself to his house, which that was a big deal because in that culture, hospitality was a massive thing. Yeah. So if you went to eat at someone's house, you were basically you were basically co-signing them. Right. Yeah. You were basically like, me and them are cool. Like, and I'm happy to be seen interacting with this person. Yeah. So again, if he was a Pharisee, that's the last person. Zacchaeus is him, prostitutes, and leprous people. Like that's the group that he's part of, which is it's a bit mad to say nowadays, but that's who he was a part of. And Jesus was just like, out of everyone here in the crowd, even my own disciples, I'm sure one of them might have had a place. Yeah. And Jesus was like really well supported. So they might have had good accommodation arranged. They might have been like, oh, I've booked Ben Brazil already. Do you know what I mean? We're sorted for dinner. Jesus said, Zacchaeus, I'm going to come to your house today. Yeah. So he's not even like putting it off. He's like, I'm showing you that I want to be your friend. Yeah. I'm interested in you. I know what the perception of other people is going to be, but I'm here for you. I'm not focused on any of that. Obviously, Zacchaeus is like, oh, this is sick. Buzzing. Do you know what I mean? Like the one person in the world that I would hope would accept me, or at least, show me some interest, has accepted me and wants me to spend time with them in my safe place. Yeah. Because that's what, do you know what I mean? That's his home. Obviously the reaction of the people in verse 7 is like, everyone starts, the mumbles, the grumbles, the mutterings, classic. The utterings. Oh, I can't believe he's gone to be with a sinner. A sinner. But this is another aspect that I really love about Jesus' friendship. Yeah. Is Jesus was willing to be friends with the people who you would call friendless. Yeah. Or like if you were friends with them, people would look at you sideways. So like modern day equivalents, it's a bit hard to find, but it'd probably be some of the similar demographics. So you're thinking corrupt politicians or corrupt people with influence. Yeah. You're looking at prostitutes. Yeah. You're looking at homeless people. Yeah. People with illnesses that have stigma. Yeah. That's effectively the same group that they had, but now. Like, if you saw some people you knew from church just hanging out with a group of, like, some prostitutes and some people are corrupt. Yeah. You'd be like, what the heck, man? Yeah, you'd be like, WhatsApping people like, hey, I think I just saw so-and-so hanging out with some, some prostitutes. And they're just, like, having a good time. Yeah. I almost don't feel like, I don't really judge them for that because I can understand how, with a limited perspective, you would think, what the hell, Jesus? Like, why are you hanging out with someone who's actually a bad person? Like, this is a horrible human being. He takes advantage of other people for his own wealth, and if he knows that you can't afford it, he doesn't care. Like, Jesus is like, but I see beyond all this stuff, so I'm gonna initiate and be his friend. And if you don't know the story, Zacchaeus, because of the friendship of Jesus and Jesus going to his house, having dinner with him, and them just like enjoying being together, that means that Zacchaeus ends up repenting, and he says all the money that he's stolen, he will give back twice the amount, I think, and then a certain other amount of money, he doubles that as well, and basically goes and rights all his wrongs. Yeah. And begins to follow Jesus. And all that only happened because Jesus was his friend. Yeah. And like sometimes the most powerful thing you can be for someone is a friend.
100%.
And especially if you're like their one friend, you know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of us either have that friend for us or are that friend for someone else, where it's really you or that's it. Everyone else is like, I've had enough of them. But like you're the one friend who they'll hit you up and you'll be like, hey, how's it going? Let's hang out.
Yeah.
And like that's what Jesus did for Zacchaeus. And I love that because it's so simple. Do you know what I mean? It's just 100%. Like, just be a friend.
Yeah. Invite
yourself to their safe space.
Yeah.
And like the Holy Spirit is enough to transform that interaction.
100%. I think it's interesting that, you know, he didn't like, often when people are in that kind of situation and like they're often seen as a certain way, or they're often like, or they're just a bit lonely, whatever. There's like a rebrand that takes place. Like they'll rebrand themselves and they'll kind of transform themselves. Maybe they'll, you know, like maybe they'll start going to the gym. Or so. I'm just trying to think of it in like today's point of view, like going to the gym, you know, sort of getting a fresh fade, whatever it might be. I don't know. Yeah. But
their news feed looks different now.
Like it's just like a whole new. It's like a complete rebrand. It's like what's it's not Yodel. What's the other package company that's selling?
Oh my gosh, they will not fool me. I tell you. Hermes
have
switching to Every like we don't know.
Yeah,
anyway.
Hermes, you know, they're terrible. Everyone knows they're terrible. So they did a rebrand to Every to try and fool the people into thinking that this is a new company, which is not. It's just a different name, different color logo.
And you know what's hilarious about that rebrand as well?
What?
Is that the day before they rebranded officially, everyone was like, Hermes, why is it that every time your packages are late? And then obviously they changed their name to Every. So the memes continued because it's like the content's the same because that's how bad you are, and you've just made it even easier for us to roast you now.
See,
but anyway.
And that's the thing though, like the rebrand's there, but there's still on the inside,
they're still the same.
They're still the same. There's just this is an outward rebrand that's taking place, but anyway, they're still the same. And often that's kind of what happens in these kind of situations where we see when the example of Jesus is just come down to this, to their level, to where they are, to their point, as you were saying, to their invite yourself into their safe space, and then that is enough because the Holy Spirit is enough to kind of start to shift and to change things. And obviously we see a major rebrand take place inside and out from Zacchaeus
100%.
in what takes place. Just a simple act. And often, I know we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago in terms of like some of the words that have been brought to the church and stuff like that. It's that often it is just so simple. And we as a church, a Big C church, overcomplicate it and like go on a mad one and trying to like think of all these strategies and these ways of doing things, and these 10-point plans and like these like scripts on how to evangelize. Like it is just, and a lot of it is just simple. Mm-hmm. It is just chill. You know, they talk about in football, they're like, go back to the basics. Go to the basics of football. Pass, run, shoot, whatever.
Come on, England, sort it out. Let's be
come
honest
on, guys.
about what we're talking
World Cup's
about.
in a few months. We need to sort it out. But just go back to the basics and it's just so simple. There's nothing complicated that Jesus is doing here. It's just so chill. And I think that's just amazing.
Like you wouldn't study his words being like, wow, what composition of literary techniques did Jesus use to influence the logic of you know what I mean, the right side brain of Zacchaeus to bring him to understanding of like it's not anything about that, which I think Jesus is underratedly simple because obviously he speaks in parables on purpose to kind of hide certain things from people who don't fully see it or whatever. But he's also really simple. Okay, so John 15. So we've gone through that aspect of his friendship. There's also another aspect, which is this: I no longer call you servants because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends, for everything that I learned from my Father I have made known to you. And what I love about this is like the access of a friend. That's basically what Jesus is talking about here, is that he has upgraded our access. So like from back in the day, if you're a priest, for example, there was only one priest who was allowed into the most holy of holies, and he still had a bunch of restrictions. Everyone else basically wasn't allowed near the presence of God. No one else was worthy of the priesthood. And then everyone else of the rest of the population, which was like the other 11 tribes, weren't even allowed to be like past the beginning part of the temple. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of like walls in place, because rightly so, people weren't worthy, and so if you interacted with the presence of God, you were probably going to die. Which you see some stories of where people do that. But what's happened for us is that now Jesus says that we are actually his friend. And like I was thinking about it this way, it's kind of like if you have, let's say you're friends with someone whose dad or like mum is like in a particular position, or like maybe they have a cool job, or like whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? Like you just being friends with that person means that you get way more access than anyone else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, oh yeah, let's do this thing because my mum or dad like does this, so like you get the benefit as well. Like even though you're not family, you can end up getting the benefits that person has just because you're their friend. Or like you might get information that other people don't get information to because you're their friend. And so it's a big deal for us to go from only being servants to now we're friends, because what it means is that we get access to we get access to God that has previously not been able to be accessed by everyone. And even the people who accessed it weren't able to access it in the same way that we are.
100%.
And that's cool to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I know what it's like to have friends where like you they just tell you stories and you're like, wow, that's mad. Like if I wasn't your friend, there's no way. Or like some people have friends where they'll just be like, oh, do you want to go do this thing? And it's like there's some crazy cool thing, and it's like, like why am I here? Do you know what I mean? And it's just like that's what it's like being a friend with Jesus. Is that we get an access to God that is above what our natural station should be. Like we shouldn't be able to just come into the presence of God. Do you know what I mean? Like you can decide right now, I'm going to engage with God and experience his presence like that. You can wake up in the morning and like talk to the Holy Spirit. Do you know what I mean? Like God, like as you spoke, I think you said it, someone said it anyway, about how we can speak to Jesus, use his name. Like you can do that whenever you want. You can, obviously, what we don't want to be is overly casual with it, but like you have just been given the authority of Jesus. Like those are so many benefits that we have because we're his friend. And then beyond all that stuff is like we can actually know his mind. So part of being a friend is like you just break things down. Like so for example, when we chat, we just talk about a bunch of stuff. Sometimes it's super deep, sometimes it's just having a good time. But we probably know each other better than most other people know us. Do you know what I mean? Like people that we see every now and then, like, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And that's the same with Jesus, is that because we're his friend, what that means is similarly to the way that he spotted Zacchaeus, said, Zacchaeus, I'm coming to you. Let's hang out. I'm giving you access to me. Jesus does the same thing to us. And he says, hey, I'm opening myself up to you for you to engage with me in this intimate way. Do you know what I mean? So Johanna, Jesus says, I want you to be my friend. It's a bit like school. Do you know what I mean? Like when you first start in year 7 and, do you know what I mean? You go somewhere, you don't know anyone. This happened to me. Like I went to Blue Coat, didn't know anyone because we just moved from Cardiff. I was like, oh, how am I gonna make friends? Like I didn't feel like I was a natural friend maker. Do you know what I mean? So I was kind of just walking around, and it was like a break time after form, like the first form, and I was just walking around on my own, and then I just met some people on the stairs, and they were like, hey, are you on your own? I was like, yeah. They were like, do you want to be our friend? I was like, yeah, all right. And they were my friends for like all of high school. And like that's a really reductive example. But that's what Jesus does. Like Jesus sees us. He says, I want you to be my friend. And then he interacts with us off that basis. And that is an incredible thing considering who that friend is and what that friendship like gives you access to. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's great.
And I think it's interesting that, that access, it says He says, everything I've learned from my Father, I've made known to you, and that there is a passing on that takes place. It's not just
exactly.
It's not just like what you say, like just an outward kind of 2D kind of like, oh, we're friends, let's hang out, let's do stuff. There's a sharpening that takes place. There's like something that takes place in terms of like, I think it even says at one point, like faithful are the wounds of a friend.
Yeah.
That, a friend can like mug you off.
Yeah.
And it's not mugging you off. It's basically trying to build you up into something better. It's there to kind of like help you grow and sharpen yourself. And that's kind of what I think that's the amazing thing about a friend, and what Jesus does is that, is what you were saying. You can have all the kind of the deep stuff and like the really getting down to the nitty, the gritty. You can just hang out, chill out, just talk about just stuff that's not really important, really, in the grand scheme of things of life. But it's just enjoyment, and that access that we have as friends, it can be like that. It can be like obviously super deep, and obviously God can like tell you to stop doing stuff or start doing stuff and really mug you off a little bit, which is always good. Or you can just kind of just say like, oh, I enjoy hanging out with you. There's been times where like I've just been chilling with the Lord doing something, and He's just said like, like the times where I've said, oh God, like let me, like I want to hear what you have to say or whatever else, and He's just said, I enjoy spending time with you or something like that. I'm like, oh,
that's nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Like it's not super deep, or it's not like well, it is deep obviously, but it's not like it's not the
flashy stuff.
Yeah, I mean? It's not like change this and start doing this, move to China and do all this kind of stuff. Like it's just very, very simple.
Yeah.
And it's just that I wouldn't have that if I wasn't a friend.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, as you're saying, like I think sometimes, I know that I do this all the time, you can get very into the doing the thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or even approaching him in like almost like a business manner of like even in intercession, you can be like, gonna pray for this, gonna do this, we want to see this happen, which is great. But also a massive part of life with Jesus is He wants to be our friend.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, sometimes He doesn't want you to pray about anything.
Yeah.
He doesn't want you to say anything. He may not say any like word to you. He just wants to spend time with you.
Yeah.
Similarly to how, like, if you're hanging out with someone, you don't have to have like a constant stream of communication all the time.
Yeah.
Or you might just be like, hey, let's just sit and watch a movie or watch TV. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without being like, hey, by the way, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this?
Yeah.
Like, that gets a bit exhausting sometimes. Yeah. At least I know.
I think that's the thing. Like, you can often... And you have to see it as like, you can often just try and fill the silence, fill the space.
Yeah.
Just, was what you're saying, like cram it with so like, oh, this, that, and the other. But sometimes just being there, just being present is just enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's just what friendship is.
So last one, time is going a bit, but we'll finish this one. So last one, we're not going to read this bit because there's a lot here.
Yeah.
But this is Jesus and his self-proclaimed best friend. Peter in it. Or was it someone else? I think it was Peter. Oh no, you're right. It was John. Yeah. But this is Peter.
I think Peter's
Jesus
in the top 3.
And one of his top 3. So this is like one of Jesus' best mates. Yeah. They've known each other for a bunch of years.
Yeah.
And Jesus said to him, hey, you're going to betray me.
Yeah. Deep.
And he was like, I'm never going to betray you, Jesus. Jesus, out of everyone, I'll go to the cross with you, Jesus. I'm going to do everything. And like when it came down to it, he betrayed him multiple times, cemented, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not only that, he compromised himself in the way that he betrayed Jesus. And so Peter's like down in the dumps. He's gone back to what he was doing. I can imagine he was probably super depressed. He was like, I literally knew the savior of the world.
Yeah.
I was one of his best friends.
Yeah.
And I betrayed him in one of the worst ways that I could do.
Yeah.
And now I'm not even like making up for it.
Yeah.
I've just gone back to what I'm comfortable.
And Jesus even told him exactly how he was going to betray him, and he still did it anyway.
And he didn't even realize he was doing it until he'd done it and like the sign had happened. Do you know what I mean?
Silly.
Like, it's not like the second time he was like, this sounds a lot like what Jesus told me. It's like, no, he was clueless till the very end. So now you have Jesus is resurrected. He's shown himself a few times. And he is like they're fishing, Peter and some people. And Jesus is on the beach and he says, hey, I'm going to make some food. Jesus loved food. That's another good thing about his friendship. He just enjoyed eating together.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of having this heart-to-heart moment after having some food where basically Jesus counteracts the betrayal that Peter did.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good a friend Jesus was. Yeah. Is like the next time that he has an opportunity to speak with his best friend who betrayed him in a pretty horrible way.
Yeah.
And after that point, he died the most gruesome death in human history. I think to this day, it's still known as the worst way to die. Like that, the process they put you through. And his first instance talking with this person is like, I want to reaffirm to you my friendship with you hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Like, I still love you the same way. I still see you the same way. And obviously he goes more into like kind of the vision and purpose over Peter's life.
Yeah.
But he's very much like, you're still my friend.
Yeah.
I still love you. And he doesn't even bring up the thing. Do you know what I mean? Like the way that he does it, Peter knows that Jesus knows. Yeah, and Jesus knows that Peter knows that Jesus knows. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't need to be said, but they both understand, like, and the relationship from Peter's end is fixed again. Sorry, bro. Someone is literally.
You finish on this.
Someone's literally at the door.
I got to sort it out.
I'm gonna wrap up. So anyway, Jesus reaffirms their friendship, and now Peter, like from this moment, this is like the launching pad of Peter's ministry and everything else. And Peter was able to do all the incredible things that he did purely because of this moment, because otherwise Peter would have just been, left wallowing, fishing, and all that jazz. And so that, it can sometimes be something that we don't focus on, we don't really think about, but there's so much in the fact that Jesus wants to be our friend. Like, Jesus wants to be your friend just because he wants to be your friend, not because of what you can give him, not because of, the people that you might have connections with, not because of whether people think you're bad, whether people want to be with you or not be around you. Like, Jesus wants to be your friend because he wants to be your friend. And out of that friendship comes all this incredible stuff, all these mad benefits. But like, Jesus wants to be our friend and is the best friend that a friend can be. And so, if you feel like you're isolated, you might feel alone, Jesus is your friend, and don't be afraid to approach Jesus as your friend. Now, obviously, I don't mean that in a flippant way of now disrespecting his authority as Lord and King, etc., etc. But being able to approach Jesus as a friend and learning to have friendship in our relationship with him is a really important thing. And it's also part of how we worship him, is that friendship that we have. So yeah, we are going to finish now. Eamon has disappeared. I don't know where he's gone. He's gone out with this mystery person outside. But thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you have enjoyed our chat about Jesus and about how he is a friend. If, as always, you have anything that you want us to chat through, look at, feel free to send your suggestions in, and we'll go through some of that stuff. But if not, thanks for joining us. And we'll be back again next time, talking about Jesus, talking about the Bible again. So yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day, or your morning, or your evening, whenever you're watching this, however you're watching this, whether you're listening. And we'll see you next time. Bye.